Absolutely. My name is Sam Lewis from Nashville, Tennessee.
And we're here in Luck, Texas at
God, we are.
Willie Nelson's Ranch for Luck Reunion 2018.
Danger snakes and all.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a sign. Have you seen the
no.
big Luck sign?
No.
The big Luck sign that looks like the Hollywood sign?
Yeah.
There's this little sign below it that says danger snakes. And it doesn't read that way. That's just how I chose to read it.
Right. So, you might get lucky and not get bitten.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's your first Luck Reunion. It's
Yes, it
my,
is.
my first time here. What are your impressions of this great event?
There's a lot of great sounds. There's a lot of great people. And overall, there might be just too much fun going on.
Yeah.
I haven't really got a good chance to catch a whole set of anybody's, but I'm hoping that'll change. I think you might be the last person that I have a microphone with. So no, it's great, man. Like, what's funny is the age we live in. Anytime you can put a face with an email address or a phone number, it's a really nice thing. It makes the world that much smaller. So it's been really cool to connect with people in a personal, human, way. So that's probably been my favorite part.
Yeah.
I like people. I like. My job is public service work, so obviously I have to like people. But
yeah,
it's these kind of hangs too. I played early, so I'm kind of off, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How did the set go?
It went well. It was a songwriter round.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's
who joined you?
Caleb Cottle, Courtney Marie Andrews, and Kevin. What the hell's Kevin's last name? Kevin Kinney from Drive By Truckers. No, God, hang on. I'm not even inebriated. I can't think of what band he's in at the moment. Driving and Crying.
Cool. So the songwriter rounds, great opportunity to kind of just play whatever you want, really.
It is, but it's there's an art in that.
Yeah.
When I moved to Nashville, that was.
Do you do the Bluebird and?
Yeah, you do the Bluebird, you do the open mics and that kind of thing, and it's typically a round setting, and I wasn't too privy to that. It's usually where 2 or 3 people sit side by side and they swap songs, that kind of thing, and that is its own kind of organism, and it can go good or bad really quickly, and you'll get those rounds sometimes where, well, I got a song about my grandpa too, and then it's like
trying to one up each other.
Yeah. It could go that way pretty quick, but I've enjoyed a few of them with people that I know. Today I didn't really know any of the folks, but I got to know them through their songs, which I always dig.
Yeah.
It was a good round. It was early in the day, and but it was fun. It was fun to meet these folks and put a personality with their music.
And have you had kind of from some of those songwriting sessions, songwriter rounds early on, was that a great way for you to connect with some of the local songwriters?
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, it's, we're all kind of doing the same thing and figuring it out. But I learned pretty quickly that a lot of the biggest motive, I think, with people going to those things is trying to get co-writing sessions out of that. And so I got a few of those right out of the gate and realized in those sessions that we were the attempt was to write like hit songs. And so that's a different dynamic. I don't really write that way.
Especially in Nashville, that seems to be
Yeah, well, it's it's bedrock, and it's a major business, and a lot of good comes out of that, and a lot of bad comes out of that. And I just really wasn't digging the songs that I was writing with people, and chose to just kind of step away, and that's when I think I realized that I was going to be a singer-songwriter that wrote and recorded their songs and toured them, and that's what I set out to do.
And now we're 3 albums in. Your next record, Versity, is
you said it correctly? Yeah,
comes out in May.
May 4th.
Tell me a little bit about kind of where this record started.
Man, they start with songs. That's where they start. There's no real MO other than albums are just basically snapshots of where someone's been for a little while. So I had written some of these songs. Some of these songs are about maybe 2 or 3 of them are a couple years old, maybe 3 years old, and Versity. That word came about when I was traveling. I was rolling into Richmond, Virginia, and I saw a building that had half of the word viewable, and all I saw was Versity, and I don't know why I said Versity, and found out it was not a word, and I thought, well, that's a cool word, like what's, and that's sometimes that's how things come about, and you chase down an idea, or you try to see if the universe will define it for you, and so that happened, and then a lot of the songs that are kind of in that same spirit and vein wound up sitting pretty nicely under that umbrella. So that's kind of, it very organically, nothing really forced, and I think you can hear that. I think it feels that way. I think it treats you that way, and that's the type of music that I try to make.
You play a lot of shows throughout the year, and are you the sort of person that can write on the road, or do you need to kind of have a set space for that?
It's funny, man. I try to write really anytime I can, but man, I really have to have stillness. I have to have quiet. I have to be near enough of like my identity. Like it's good to come home and be around your things. It's like it's this anchor effect. So it's to me it'd be like I don't know. I don't have a good analogy, but I can do different things on the road that I can't do at home. I can't read at home. I have too many vices and too many distractions, and
so when you like reading a book, you mean? Yeah.
I can read a book on the road all day long. I can shred books all day long on the road because I got a guitar, I got a suitcase, and it's like a book, and then it's a nice break from all that. So yeah, sometimes some ideas will come out from the road, and then I'll flesh them out at home. A lot of really like random weird voice memos that you can hear like the car, like and me going and then like I find it a month later, I'm like, what is this? Delete. So there's. I'm
sure it seemed like a great idea at the time.
Yeah. But driving and listening to music is I think it's a really great way to experience it, and I can really think, I can do some fair pondering behind the wheel of a car, because you're in motion, you're doing something, but you're also still. But I really pour, over these songs, and it's tough to do that when you're, dodging people that are talking on their phone or whatever on the road.
Do you have a go-to from music that's not your own? Do you have a go-to driving record? Is there something you always like to put on when you can?
Maybe, man. I really try to tune into like local radio stations where I'm going, just to see what's out there, and then
get the traffic report.
Yeah. Well, not to sound like a dick, but like there are some games that I play, like especially if I'm with like some other people in the car. And it's like, how long can you last on this radio station before you have to change the station? That kills time really well, man. But I've got more prone to like listening to things without words, especially in really super creative times, like the last couple of years when I've been really, writing and getting these things out. I've been really careful about what words are being put into my ears, because at the end of the day, we're all just a filter, and that stuff is going to come out. So I want to enjoy it when it does,
So music without words, classical music, things like that?
Man, jazz, a lot of jazz, a lot of New Orleans jazz, Chicago jazz. I don't really have the ability to comprehend how or why someone's technique is like right on, but you can feel it, you can hear it, and it's a cool, fun rabbit hole of a genre to go down, and I like that. I like that break, and there's there's rules, but they're undefinable to me, and so I like that kind of stuff, man. I like a lot of keys. I've been getting into some vibes, and those wind up making their way onto the record. We got some vibes on a couple tracks, and stuff like that, man. And the band Stuff as well, which is are you privy to them?
The band, yeah, of course.
Stuff.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Yeah, they're called Stuff.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about the band.
Yeah, no.
Like you're talking about the band's stuff. You're talking about the band Stuff.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. There you go.
I got it. I got there.
Tricky one.
No, I'm not familiar with Stuff.
Check them out, man. They're really good. Yeah, Steve Gadd, man, and it's like a bunch of different players that are play a lot of stuff you'd know. I got into a really cool record a couple years ago that I listen to frequently. It's Herbie Hancock's Mother Nature's Son, and it's just a bunch of Beatles songs, like from '68, and his treatment on them it's just insane.
It's a great record.
Yeah, and no words, and those kind of songs too. I kind of enjoy instrumental versions of like songs you really, really know.
Yeah.
Replacing the words with sounds and stuff like that. So that kind of, that kind of stuff is in heavy rotation. I like a lot of Alan Toussaint's music. He's got a couple great records that are just, they're just instrumentals, and they take you somewhere else.
So when you sit down and write your music, where does that start musically? Is it with a guitar?
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play a little piano. The last couple records, a lot of songs were either they either started on a piano or they ended on a piano.
Right.
Just to break it, because you pick up the same instrument, you're going to go to the same chords. But in 2016, I got an electric guitar. I got a Tele and an amp, Princeton amp, and my really first real time exploring that. I had one a long time ago.
So that has to find its way into the new record.
And what's fun about that is just a little bit of reverb and a little bit of tremolo.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, the song kind of starts to write itself, or you get an idea of where it's going.
Yeah.
There's more color, and so a lot of the newer songs were written on that guitar.
Yeah.
In that way, and helped me set up or get an idea of maybe how the recorded treatment would be.
Does that? How do you feel that changes the sound? Do you feel that when you listen back to the new songs? Does that? Can you feel that? Can you feel that difference?
Yeah, you can feel that. To me, it's a bit more assertive. At times, there's a bit of aggression, but for good reason. And it's I don't use a pick, so I just use my index and my thumb, and I was worried that wouldn't translate the way it does on an acoustic guitar, but it does, and it makes for really some cool stabs and that kind of thing, especially with some delay effect. But yeah, it comes across because the musicians will pick up on that, and that's kind of their there's a lot of cues within that, because Derek Mixon, who's played on every one of my records, that's all he does is he just looks at my right hand the entire time, man. That's where it all begins and stops.
Wow.
And I wasn't really super aware of that until someone pointed it out to me, and I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense, because I was thinking about just not playing any guitar on the record at all. And they're like, you probably need to play guitar on that record.
It's all going to fall apart really quickly.
Yeah. Well, Derek's talented enough. He doesn't need that.
Yeah.
But it
helps.
It certainly helps.
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of making music with different people in a live setting, in which is the only way I know how to make music, and because it's all performance based, and you don't need to know anything about music to hear that and feel that performance. We have to believe it in order to expect you to believe it.
Well, I love that, and I can't wait for everyone to listen to the record out,
Please.
May 4th.
Yeah, check it out.
I imagine you got a bit of a tour lined up around its release.
Just announced the first run of shows after the May 18th release show in Nashville at 3rd and Lindsley.
Where are you playing?
3rd and Lindsley. And then we're hitting the road, headed up to 95 corridor from Nashville to Boston. We got D.C. and Philly and New York, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other ones. And then a little southeast run, Atlanta, Birmingham, a couple other places, and hopefully that's just the beginning, you know.
Well, best of luck with its release and all the tour and all the touring that will follow.
I hope it takes me. I hope it takes me to Australia.
I hope it does as well. Let's get you down under.
Well, I'd love. I might not come back. That's the only worry with me.
Nothing. Hey, we'll happily take it.
All right. Good to know. You never know. You may have to go somewhere. You know.
Like we might need to do an exchange program. Is that the?
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. If I'm not at my house, someone should be.
I'll live in Nashville. You can live in my place in Sydney.
Go.
Done.
Well, yeah. I think we just started a show.